In our next example, we'll have a look at the purchase of assets on credit. So Thompson Shipping bought equipment for 50,000 Rand on credit from Super Furnishers. So again, firstly, we'll have a look at the effect of the transaction on the basic accounting equation. Now, equipment is a substantial gain to the enterprise, and it is of a relatively large importance. This makes it a material transaction and also means that it is an asset. Secondly, we know that the equipment was bought on credit from Super Furnishers, which means that we owe them the 50,000 Rand. This makes it a liability. Then we need to determine which of the accounts are involved. So the first account involved would be equipment. And the second account, we know that the purchase was made on credit, which would mean that it is a loan, seeing as we still owe Super Furnishers the 50,000 Rand. And then always remember to also indicate the name of the creditor in your ledger account. Then we need to ensure that the debited amount equals the credited amount. Assets always increase on the debit side. Here we have 50,000 Rand. Liabilities increase on the credit side. Here we have 50,000 Rand. So we know that this is correct. Then also remember the date of the transaction, the name of the contra ledger account, and the folio number of the subsidiary journal. In our next example, we'll have a look at the purchasing of goods for cash. Thompson Shipping bought furniture for cash from Beige Furniture for 3,000 Rand. So again, first we'll have a look at the effect of the transaction on the basic accounting equation. Furniture is regarded as an asset because it is a substantial gain to the business. It is also of a relatively large importance and thus a material transaction. This makes it an asset. Then we have cash. This is money that leaves the bank account, and the bank account is always an asset. Then we need to identify the accounts involved. We have just stated that the first account would be furniture. And the second account is cash that affects our bank account. So the ledger account involved is bank. Then we need to ensure that the debited amount is the same as the credited amount. This makes for an interesting example because here we are both dealing with assets. So how would this affect the entry into the ledger accounts? Well, we've established in the previous examples that assets always increase on the debit side. And in this case, we can see under furniture that the furniture has increased by 3,000 Rand, seeing as we have purchased the furniture. Then cash has left the bank account. Now assets always decrease on the credit side. Then we need to make sure that the amounts correlate with each other. We can see that we have 3,000 Rand adding to the assets on the debit side, and we have 3,000 Rand decreasing from the assets on the credit side. Then also, as usual, we need to remember the date of the transaction, the name of the contra ledger account, and also the folio number of the subsidiary journal.